Can't hear you. I can't hear you. Mamma mia.
Hopefully, can everybody hear me now?
Can, yes.
2 weeks off and everything's gone to pot. I was in the wrong studio on the software, and I've just tried.
My fault then.
I've just not your fault today. No, I've just tried explaining to everybody because we are live now, and obviously my microphone wasn't working. So there you go, everybody. Please bear with us just for a couple of minutes. Tony, can you do a song and dance or something just while we? Maybe not. Maybe not. I need to just do a couple of things. So I'm going to talk while what we're doing tonight. It's my Abruzzo. That's what we're doing, isn't it? Right. Let me. I can't believe I've done this. Bear with us, everybody. I realized at the last minute I just clicked on the go live section and it just sort of looked to me and said no. So yeah, there you go. Anyway, I'm just sorry anybody that's just joining us now. Just bear with us 1 second, because we have had a slight Tony's fault, completely Tony's fault. So I now need to. I need to invite our guests again. Who's our guest? We've got Palumbaro Patrick. So if you are joining us, just wait and bear with us 1 second. And I may need to also send Domenico a new link. Everything's just going Pete Tong, as they say. Is that what they say? Yeah. Who else do I need to? Domenico. Nuovo. People are going to be looking at this now and thinking, what's happening? Okay, there we go. I think I've done everything. I think.
You sure?
I'm not 100% certain. Sure? Let me just send Domenico a message. This is terribly unprofessional, isn't it? But it's live. This is what happens when you go live. What can I say? This is what happens. Bear with us. You could put a few notices on or some music like that.
Hey, you carry on.
Ho fatto un errore. Adesso ti ho mandato un nuovo link per più tardi. So it's all going wrong, folks. Is anybody actually watching us? Oh, yeah, look, you're starting
to can't tell.
You can't tell. Oh, well, let's just make sure our guests are in. Let's have a quick look at Palumbaro Patrick. Good evening, sir.
Hey.
So you're here. We'll see you shortly.
Buonasera.
Let's check a quick hello to Mark and Naida. Make sure they're on. Here we are. Hi, guys.
Hey,
sorry about that. I'll be back to you later. Okay, Tone, I'm getting rid of you for a minute. Bye. Troy, Tony rocks. Troy, I sent you a message today, which you were very happy because it's coming up to your signing. I'm going to keep pushing that signing on and on until you stop writing that. When you stop writing, then we'll do the act. David Palladino, he's going to be a new Meet the Home Buyers as well, in buying a great property in Vittorito. Hello, everybody. The stress is over. I think I've managed to get everybody. Tony is innocent. We should get some t-shirts. We'll get some t-shirts printed. Sorry about that, everybody. Shall we start the introduction again? I was hoping to do a fast, quick introduction so we could get on with our guests, but everything's just sort of gone wrong. Anyway, welcome back. We're back. I do apologize for the last couple of weeks. Sometimes life gets in the way, and then other times work gets in the way. So I do try and do these Tuesday nights as often as I can, but I know sometimes it has been a little bit difficult recently, so I do apologize for that. We had, Pete Tong is a southern saying, we had a fantastic tour last week. What a brilliant group they were, and patience, they had lots of it because it rained and rained and rained and didn't stop. Day one was just a complete washout. But they still loved the area. We still did everything that we were supposed to do. 20 properties we saw, either 20 or 21 properties in 10 locations we did in 2 days. And what a fantastic group. As usual, the groups really get together when we do these tours, and it's nice to see them chatting away on the WhatsApp group that we have as well. It's just brilliant. We had a fantastic tour. Great people, as usual. So if you are thinking about joining us on a tour, what I want to say is the 8th and 9th of May, I've actually had a few cancellations. So we've got 6 spaces left. That's on the 8th and 9th of May. So if you do want to join us for the early May one, jump in there, go onto the website, homeinitaly.com, and then click on tours. You'll see all the information there, and you can book there. Then on the 29th and 30th of May, we have just 2 spaces left on that one. So if you are interested in that, you need to jump on there quickly. I am going to double check to make sure I've got all the spaces right on the end of May, because sometimes we'll make a slight error. Not very often, but sometimes it happens, and we can fit a couple more people on. But yeah, 8th and 9th of May, we have 6 spaces left now, and 29th and 30th, we have 2 spaces left. And then let's talk about the autumn dates. Autumn dates, these are the confirmed autumn dates. So this is what we're doing, and people have already started booking, especially the September one. I think we've already got nearly one of the coaches full on September. I know it seems to be a long way away, but September 25th and 26th, October 23rd and 24th, and November the 6th and 7th. So if you are thinking about coming in autumn time, then go ahead and book. And we are going to get some people off the last tour to come on here. It was a fantastic group. We had it was hard going on day one, because it just constantly, it didn't stop all day. But day 2 we had a little bit of a break from it, but people still absolutely love the area, which is the most important thing. What else do I want to tell you about? I want to tell you about Patreon. Lots of people have been asking me about Patreon and whether it's something that they should join or not. Of course you should. I just want to give a quick few minutes just to say that Patreon is really for those people that are ready to go now, ready to look for something. I want to share my screen with you. This is where it all goes wrong again. Let me see. How do I share the? Here we go. So this is the Patreon page. Hopefully, Tony, if you can give me a nod, can you see my live stream's gone off now? Tony, can you see the Patreon page? Yes, he's giving me a thumbs up. Okay, so if you join Patreon, this is what you will see. It does cost €14 a month, and I'm sorry about the charge, but that's just to keep up with the expenses. The Italian government like to take a nice chunk of that from taxes, but excuse me, I'm just starting a cold as well. But it is a great it is a great thing, because not only do you get the, let me show you what you will get on the, where we go, viewing as a paid member. This is what you will actually see. So this is, you will get all the early access to Saturday's video properties. You usually get those on a Thursday. Sometimes it can be a Friday, but usually it's a Thursday. Then we have a section called collections, and within here we have some what we call sneak peek properties, and these are videos that Domenico or Claudio sent to us, and we add these properties onto Patreon, and usually they don't make it off Patreon. As you can see on here, new property alert. We get this one sold to a Patreon, sold to a Patreon. So we do get a number sold to Patreon, as you can see as you go down. So you do get to see a number of properties that nobody else gets to see, and they go straight onto Patreon. We also get, when I find it, we get the community section. In the community section, we then have chats that people, this is a general chat section. We have a Q&A section, so if anybody's got any questions that they want to ask us direct, they can write away on there. Introductions, we also have places to visit where people have, not just myself, any other people that's been here, that write details and share photographs and that kind of thing. It's just a great thing to join. So if you are serious about finding something quickly and you're looking more to remote purchase, or maybe you've been here before, so you're looking at a little bit of I don't know, you're ready to do it, then Patreon is a great thing. If you're not looking maybe to rush into remote purchase, or maybe you're not looking to rush just yet, maybe you're looking for next year, maybe Patreon is something you could wait while closer to the time. Okay, that's the Patreon one. I've got all these things I've got to tick off on my list. What have we got now? We've got, shall we do stunning photo of the week? This is a great photograph. This is a superb photograph, and it's come from, and apologies if I've misspelt your name. It's spelt Antti, A-N-T-T-I. So if you're watching and I've made a terrible mess of your name, then apologies. But what a fantastic photograph this is. I need to go to share screen again because it's not coming up automatically. Here we go. So this is from Auntie, and again, apologies if it's the wrong name. What a fantastic picture that is. That is above Introdacqua, looking down at Introdacqua, and you've got the Polinia Valley to the right. Obviously on a bike ride. You know, I do know that trail myself. I often go up there on my bike. Anyway, moving on. But what a great picture. Absolutely love that one. Thank you, Auntie, and apologies again if I've spelt your if I'm pronouncing, should I say, your name incorrectly. But what a fantastic picture. Okay, photo, should I say. Now, how do I stop this now? Stop sharing. That'll do? That'll do it. Tone, I think it may be. It is. Let's bring him on. Let's bring him on. It's time for.
No.
It's the first time joining us. I was going to do this intro quick, and look, we're on 7:15.
Yeah, well, what do I keep telling you?
We're just going to have to extend things later, I'm afraid. I'm sure
You
people
rattle on, don't you?
And I've also got a cold. Can you tell I'm starting with this?
No, I don't. You're not
Another bout of serious man flu. Right. So,
wet last week.
Sorry?
Just because we got a bit wet last week.
We did get a little bit wet, but what a great tour. Great people.
It was fantastic. Yeah,
absolutely.
Really good people.
Fantastic group. Okay, for those of you who are wondering what is going off now, this is Domenico and Tony's tongue twisting trials. And if you're wondering where Domenico is, yes, I'll send it you now. Domenico will come on later in the show. Tony's going to, in his best Italian, and it's the next level up we're going to today.
It's the only Italian I've got, Dan. It's not the best Italian.
This is true. But we are going up a level. So we started obviously on -3,000. We've got you just onto level 1. We're now moving to level 2 of 400.
I'm looking forward to it.
So level 2. So I'm going to send Tony something in Italian that's taken from a film. You guys are going to listen carefully. And then at the end of the show, Domenico will come on the show and he will say it in his best English. And at that point, and only at that point, you get to guess the film. Are you ready, Tone?
Wait a minute.
It is. We're in a rush. It's 7:15.
Oh, that's only because you rattle on so much.
He's actually, the reason why Tony is also in a rush is because he's going for a pizza with Palumbaro Patrick, who's coming on shortly as well. So while Tony's looking at that, just to let you know, today, my Abruzzo, we're going to be doing a little bit of Google Maps work because somebody on the tour said they really liked when I showed them things on Google Maps, showing how close things are when you live in villages like Palumbaro. Then Palumbaro Patrick is coming on because he's back in town again, and he's going to tell us the things that was surprised about when he came from the US and sort of spent half of the year here in Abruzzo, and he wants to share with us some of his. Look at Tony studying. He wants to share some of his experiences with us. And then later in the show, we've got Mark and Naida that joined us on a show quite a while ago when they came on a tour. They bought a property, and they're in the middle of the Schengen Shuffle. Is that how you say it? And we're going to have a full Meet the Home Buyers with them probably in the next month or two when they're back in Capistrano. But we're going to catch up with them for the last sort of 10, 15 minutes of the show so they can tell us what stage they're at. Are you ready, Tony?
Well, yeah, I'll give it a go.
In your best Italian, go for it.
Right. Tu darai alla gente un idile al quale ispirarsi. Correranno con te. Vacilleranno, cadranno, ma col tempo saranno accanto a te nella luce. Col tempo li aiuterà. Aiuterà a compiere meraviglie.
Not bad. It was a difficult one, I've got to admit. Not one of your best performances.
That one, I know it's aiuto to help.
Exactly. So you nearly, yeah.
Well, I just couldn't get the end bit.
Not bad. Out of 10, I'll give you a good 3.
Oh, great.
See you later. I shouldn't laugh because, well, I should. It's Tony. Of course, we can laugh at Tony. If we can't laugh at Tony in life, what's left? What is left? I don't mean that. I'm not a nasty person, honestly. Anyway, let's get started pretty quick on this because I want to get Palumbaro Patrick in here soon to give us his take, coming obviously from the US. I know not everybody comes from the US, but it's just getting an outsider, and because we do have lots of clients from the US and from Canada, and obviously it just gives somebody else's version of things. What I want to talk about first is lots of people, some of the things that I get asked on email and also in person, and also sometimes on the Q&As. I must admit, sometimes surprise me, and I do wonder if it's a cultural thing, if it's people wondering what it's really like here. You know, how different is it going to be from life where you are? And I can understand that, because if I was moving anywhere else, and especially to a country that doesn't speak my language, I can understand that you're going to imagine that things are completely different, and they are. Don't get me wrong. There's lots of things that are different, but some of the questions that I get recently are down to the basics of I've been having a lot of discussions for some reason recently about washing machines, and as much as I like a good washing machine, I find myself talking about them quite often, and I'm just wondering sort of the mind, what's in people's mind, what's in people's thoughts, and obviously what we try and do on this show is to reassure people that moving out here, first of all, it would be the best thing that you do, and secondly, it's gonna be a change, but it should be a change for the better. What I will say is, the talking about washing machines has come from a number of people, and people worrying about whether there's a hookup for a washing machine in a house, the availability of things like washing machines and that type of thing. And I'm going to say washing machines quite a lot in this show, but it genuinely has been. I don't know if it's just a run of people that's got something in the mind, or maybe there's something happened on TV that I don't know about, and we're going to be invaded by washing machines later. I've no idea, but something has happened. So I want to sort of try and quash some of these things. Little basic things like, if you do need a hookup for a washing machine, putting into a house, it's no big deal. There's anything that you want to do in a house anywhere else in the world can be done here, and it's sort of, I'm going to talk to Patrick actually about washing machines, because he bought one recently, and I'm going to bring what's the bee mango saying? Sorry, Tone, I was just looking at what somebody just put on there. The Bee Man washing machine. What's that? My clothes magically appear nice and clean for the past 42 years. That's terrible. Mine do though. What? It must be a secret. And they usually sort of no, I'm not. Don't get me into that. That's terrible. Anyway, moving on from washing machines, but the basics of life here are similar to anywhere else in the world. And I want to quickly show you a few things on Google Maps. Then I'm going to bring Patrick in, who's going to explain a few more things. But things like doctors, you usually find them in most small villages. Hospitals, you're never a million miles away from a main hospital. And if you are in an area that is really well out of the way, and they can't get to you sort of within a reasonable time, they will send a helicopter for you. That wouldn't help me, because they'd have to knock me out first to put me on a helicopter. But all the systems work really well here. And I just want to spend a little bit of time. We're not going to do this for a long time, but I just want to show you living here in a small village. And this applies to many, many small villages. It's just, I'm talking about Palumbaro because this is where I live. But I just want you to, we're not definitely not reading. No, we can't. Don't put the comment that's just come in. We have to take that. He's going to get a lot of abuse for that. I know where he lives as well, by the way. Anyway, moving on. So I want to just show you a few things on Google Maps, just to show you living in a place like this, to get it into your mind what real life is like here. Okay. Let's see if we can do this all on Google Maps. So let me screen share. Let me go to Google Maps. And here we are. Let me just double check. Tom, can you give me a thumbs up that you can see the, let me just find you. Yeah, it's giving me a thumbs up and you can hear me clearly as well. Yeah, okay. So I don't know how much you're going to do this now because I can't see Google Maps myself. Oh yeah, I can. Here it is. So we live, obviously this is Italy. We live in Palumbaro, which is next to the Maiella National Park. And this, as I say, applies to most towns and villages. When you click into the center of Palumbaro, which I will do now, let's take the little man and drop him here. Okay, so this is the center of Palumbaro. Some of you will recognize it from our videos. Palumbaro Patrick's house is just up here at the side of this church. So we have a little bar. Here's the here's what the town looks like. So when you look at places like this, obviously the first thing you think of is the historical centers and sort of how life stands still. And I know some of you are going to start saying, where is everybody? And so on and so on. So here's that beautiful palazzo that that was sold. And then you sort of look further down into the old town. Just to show you, let me just show you a couple of the views from here. There's another channel that does this all the time on Google Earth, and I promised I wouldn't do it, but I find myself doing it this time. Look at the amazing views. We've got Carsoli here in the distance. We've got the coastline along here. Absolutely amazing place. You go to the other side of the village, and our views are different, and they are like this. So one side we've got the sea views, and the other side we've got not that. I've gone the wrong place. Hold on a second. This is where it doesn't work as well as I thought it would. Here we go. Let me find where we are. Oh yeah, there it is. Let's jump in here. We've got then the amazing Maiella mountain range here, and we've got Piedimonte here in the distance. I live sort of in this little patch around here. And this is a good overview of Palumbaro. Now, within Palumbaro, like many other towns and villages in these areas, we have the basic facilities. So we have the bar in the middle. We also have a, let me just show you this. We have a pharmacist, which is here. Next to the pharmacist is a doctor's surgery here. We have this is a beauty center or something like that. We have another pharmacist, which is, another doctor's, which is the side of the park here, inside here. So that's two doctors in a small village. We also have a school. I'm not going to publish the school on here, but we have a school. We have a tennis court. It's also five-a-side football. There's also in this area here, they've built a, is it paddle? Tone, I can't remember the name of it. It's a paddle court, I think it is, that's there, which is a bit like sort of a cross between table tennis and tennis. We then have general stores. So we have the smaller stores. To give you an example, we have this one here where you can buy all your local groceries and that kind of thing. We then have a restaurant, a great restaurant at the top of the hill of Palumbaro called Dal Pagano, which is this place here. Brilliant restaurant run by my good friend Leonardo. We also have another restaurant that's opened up in the town that's one of these new home restaurants that's actually right next door to Tony's apartment. We have a restaurant on the outside of the town as well, an agriturismo restaurant. And then we have a butcher's. We have a fantastic butcher's, Raphael's Butcher's. There's also a store across from that. So we have all the basic facilities. And I know some of you may think to yourselves, well, okay, but they're just sort of small stores and the rest of it. But what about bigger ones? So again, like many other towns, we're so close to the every 5 or 10 minutes, there's a town in these areas, every 5 or 10 minutes. And there's always a slightly bigger town with supermarkets and that kind of thing. So from where we are in Palumbaro, let me go back on this again. Why has all of a sudden, oh yeah, there we go. Okay, let me just close this off. So zooming out from Palumbaro, we can drop 5 minutes down to the hill, and we're in Carsoli, or we're close to Carsoli. Before we head up into the town of Carsoli, if we go to this part here, we have modern retail units in here. We have a budget supermarket, which is this one here, Eurospin. We have Aqua and Sapone, which they sell everything to do with cleaning products to toiletries, all of that kind of thing. We've then got a number of shops and supermarkets running along this road. We can then go up into the main town of Carsoli, and we have a Conad, which is a big shopping centre here. We can go on to, let's just take you a little bit further down. We have another new supermarket here, which is called Coal. So you have all these amazing little towns that look like they've been stood still for however long, and a lot of them have been stood still for however long, and they've got the medieval centers and they've got the beautiful historical centers and everything else. And lots of people suddenly think we must be in the middle of nowhere. We must be in a place that, I don't know, there's no services around, or it's going to take us a long time to get. Life is not like that. We're always so close to something, and you've got also that's within sort of 5 or 10 minutes from where we are. You've got, let's just go back into Google Earth again, and this is just from Palumbaro to Carsoli. If you lived in somewhere like Fara San Martino, so then you've got the old centers. Let me find where we come into Fara, because you should recognize this from some of the videos we've done. Let's go into the old center. So this is started lots of videos from here, and this is Festa time when this was done. There's a little bar here, a little tabacayo, which is here.
David.
Yes.
The map's not on the screen, mate.
The map's not on the screen. Oh, sorry. He's found a new button, ladies and gentlemen, where he can bring himself onto the screen. I'm actually glad he did that. Well done, Tony. Finally, he's started proving his worth. Where was I? So let's just zoom out again, just so I can just explain. So Fara San Martino, we've just done. We've got Palumbaro here, Carsoli here, and again, this applies all over Abruzzo. But just because I know these areas really well, I can zoom in and show you things. So when you go into these old centers and you see all the videos when I start doing the videos, and you'll see places like this, and then you'll get all the strange Facebook people that like to say it's only cheap there because there's nothing there and blah, 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 blah. These towns exist because they have the facilities close by as well. But when you come out of Fara San Martino, and let's just show you, we have some great restaurants, and then here we have the bank. Where's the oh, here it is. Is the supermarket that I want. You go to the top of Fara San Martino, and you have in the middle of the countryside a Tigre, which is a great supermarket as well. So just because the surroundings are like this, you turn around and look, there's a supermarket, and these are great supermarkets as well that have lots of things inside them. They may not be the biggest ones, but they're still fully equipped and everything that you need just on the edge of this town. So again, you could look at somewhere like Civitella. When you zoom into the old town of Civitella, once you're there, you probably think, let me see where this closed. I mean, look at some of these beautiful old buildings, beautiful old church with a few workmen doing some amazing scenery when you just come out here. This is looking down onto Fara San Martino. You're looking at all of this incredible scenery. Let's look out this way because it looks really wild when you look out this direction. Bear with me. It wouldn't let me do it. But anyway, looking out this way, it looks like the wilderness. So you had the odd little bar knocking around. But again, when you look at these maps, look how close all these towns are together. Fara San Martino, Civitella. So these are maybe 1,500 population. This may be 700 or 800. Palumbaro, maybe 1,000. But it doesn't matter because we've got all these places close by. We've then got places like Piedimonte. You zoom into Piedimonte, and it looks like something out of a film, and it is literally hung off the edge of a mountain. Let's just see if I can. No, this has gone the street too far. I don't know how far Google Earth actually went into this. Let me just see if I can. Okay, again, look at these views. Look at these incredible views from here. And this is the kind of scenery that you've got. I don't know if you remember this palazzo. I did a video of this palazzo and sold this. This is going to be a great meet the home buyers when we do this one. So again, this historical place, this tiny little place that people suddenly start saying, having their own ideas of what these places are like, but you zoom out and you're really close to places like Guardiagrel, that is a slightly bigger town that has, again, all the supermarkets and everything that you need. So the modern ones, the bigger ones on the outskirts, but you have so many things around. And then if you want to drive for 45 minutes, you'll be down in near to the Pescara airport, which is here. Outside of that, we have the Megalo shopping center, which personally is the place that I hate the most in the world, because I don't like shopping. But look at the size of these places. This is I don't know if I can get closer, just so you can see the kind of facilities that we have. This is an enormous shopping center, and they're actually building Megalo 2 as well, just over the other side of the car park. Tony will be pleased about that, because it's his pet hate going there as well. But it's so close. And then you have all the online stuff that you can get. You have these areas around Chieti Scalo, where you have a number of outlets. You have all the equivalent of, let's say, Home Depot, all of that kind of thing are all in these areas. And then we have lots of other towns close by, such as Lanciano, all of these places that if you live, sorry, I'm just trying to get rid of some of these things. If you live in some of these mountainous places, or hilly places, mountainous places, whatever you want to call it, you're 2 minutes away from anything. And that's the key to these areas. That's why we choose certain areas. But the vast majority of Abruzzo is like that as well. You go to the other side, you look at little old Vittorito, where Domenico lives. So here you've got Vittorito. You'll recognize straight away, more than likely, some of these spots right in the center, with a little bar that happens to be closed on the Google day. Let me, just so you can recognize this a little bit more. You can see the old town of Vittorito up there. So again, it looks like a place that stood in the middle of nowhere, but you come out of there and you've got Popoli, which is literally just down the road here. Let's just quickly look at Popoli. You've got a train station in there. You've got a Conad. Conad, again, is a big supermarket. So you have everything that you need so close by. Are you getting into your head the kind of thing that I'm trying to sort of explain to you, that we are not isolated? You're not isolated when you come to these places. You're going to get all the services that you want. I'm going to bring Palumbaro Patrick in now, because if not, I'm going to be we're going to lose some time. Let's bring him in. Hello, sir.
David.
How are you doing?
Good. How are you?
All good. Thank you very much. All good. You're getting ready for your pizza tonight, which I can't believe you actually wanted to spend time with Tony.
Yes, you are cutting into our pizza time here.
And I am a bit jealous, though, to be honest with you, because pizzas for me is just number one food. And you're going to the new home restaurant, is that right?
Yes, right up the street.
Superb. Okay, so Patrick, I've been waffling on for a short amount of time about this, about living here and the rest of it. What's your take on it? Coming from the US, what are some of the things that you maybe didn't think it would be like when you? Am I making sense? What did you expect, or what should I say? What did you not expect when you got here?
Yeah, I would back what you were saying, in that everything is so much closer than you realize, and the services that are available. I mean, I'd been to Italy many times before. I didn't come to Abruzzo thinking that it was the wilderness, but having a mall like Megalo, having an IKEA that's 30 minutes away and is enormous, and all of the shops and stores and the availability is incredible, and everything is so close. So living in Palumbaro, as you showed, it's a small town with the basic services like 2 markets for groceries, 2 restaurants, and a bar. But all of these other towns and the kinds of things that you might want, from groceries to shopping to attractions and entertainment, are all very close by. So it is much more accessible than I realized. I think, to put it in perspective, I didn't realize this coming over, but understand that Italy, and relative to the United States, is a small country. Its landmass, I'm from Colorado, the landmass of Italy in area-wise is roughly the same as Colorado, just one state. And Abruzzo itself there's only 2 states in the United States smaller than Abruzzo. Abruzzo is roughly the size of Connecticut for U.S. citizens watching. It's a very small region. So to drive from Avezzano, which is really on the Lazio border to the west, all the way down to the coast, is only an hour and a half, roughly, drive to cover the entire east to west, and it's probably the same north to south. So it's very small to get from one place to another and get to all these services. I'm really surprised by how accessible and easy it is to get to everything.
Yeah. So, I mean, I know, like, we've spoken quite a lot about things like this, because I asked you how I could try and get across to people, not knowing it's not just all about getting across to people from the States, but getting across to people outside of where I know I used to live in the UK, so I know sort of what to speak about when I'm speaking to people from the UK. But obviously the US, and I'm going to say Canada, I know the different countries, but it's sort of, we've had this conversation before about how to get across to people. Once you realize that all the services were here, once you realize that you've got your megalos, and once you realize that you, as in the shopping centers, you've got all the modern facilities you needed, you then started telling me about the markets and how that is completely different for you, and where, as in the outdoor markets. Yes. What is it about that now that sort of almost made you forget about those malls and everything that you used to what is it about those that's changed you a little bit?
Yeah, the markets are fantastic. I've been to the outdoor markets in Guardiagrele, Casoli, Sulmona, and Lanciano, and they run these every week, sometimes twice a week. First of all, you can get practically anything you need from a grocery standpoint in the markets: fresh vegetables, fresh fruits, fish, cheese, meats, all of it's available. You really could do your weekly shopping at these outdoor markets, and they're at good prices. It's primarily farmers bringing in their fresh produce, and they've got it all on display. And then in addition, there are clothing and household items and that sort of thing. It's almost like an outdoor flea market, or an outdoor place that you can go and get discount clothing, and it's fantastic. Plus you get to interact with the locals, and oftentimes they'll set up little carts where you can get a sandwich, or you can get, snacks and food and coffees and that sort of thing. So the outdoor markets are fantastic. It's something I had no idea existed here, and something that we don't really see in the United States.
I mean, Dave is asking, do you have a car or do you rely on public transport? Obviously, living where we do, you're better off with a car, and it'd be a shame not to have a car as well, because of Abruzzo as a whole is worth visiting, isn't it? Not just staying in sort of one place, but in these areas we do need a car, don't we? More than maybe other areas.
Yeah, it's nice having the car, and one of my favorite things to do here. There are so many little towns and regions and places, and last weekend I went up to Sulmona, and I spent the weekend just exploring on that side of the mountain. And when I saw a little town I hadn't visited yet, I just drove in, and I'd never been to Celano. They've got an enormous castle there, so I got to spend some time exploring this castle. There's so much to see and explore here, and it's all so close together. It's fantastic.
Yeah. So for somebody then that's sat in the US that's thinking, I wonder what it's really like there, then is it a million miles away from life that you know?
No, it's really, first of all, Abruzzo is fantastic. It's beautiful. There's great hiking and parks and all the things like that, but all the necessities, and it's really just like the United States with a lot more Italian spoken. But when you get into the bigger towns like Pescara and Sulmona and Chieti and so forth, a lot of people speak English. So it's so much easier to get around than you think. Learn a little bit of Italian. It's not that hard. A few phrases. if you speak a phrase in Italian, they want to be your best friends. They absolutely love the effort. So it's much easier to get around than you think.
Yeah. So in terms of services and things, I mean, I know recently, should we talk about a washing machine, seeing as I mentioned it earlier? This again was just a simple thing that you did, but then you told me about your experience. Do you want to share your experience, the washing machine experience?
It's funny you mentioned that today, because when we moved in here, the ground floor had a washing machine, but it was really small. You couldn't do more than a few articles of clothing at a time, and older. So we wanted something new. And a little bit bigger, and actually ordered it from Amazon. I was surprised to find it on Amazon that you could add delivery at a nominal charge and removal of the old washing machine. So the guys showed up, took out the machine, cleaned everything out, installed the new machine, set it up, tested and checked it, and the entire process took less than 30 minutes. It was so efficient. In fact, I'll put in a word for Amazon here and tell you I use Amazon in both countries, and Amazon in Italy is actually better and more efficient than United States. They always deliver on time, oftentimes earlier than they say they're going to deliver. The website is, I think, much better structured. If you go to amazon.it, I find when I do searches like the washing machine, you get exactly what you're looking for. In the United States, when you search for things, you get all kinds of random ads, and the algorithm throws in stuff that has nothing to do with what you're looking for. It's kind of weird. So shout out to Amazon IT. It's even more efficient than the United States.
Again, I think it's one of those things. I've wanted to try and capture a photograph in Palumbaro or in any other small village of like a FedEx or a DHL delivery driver in the middle of these historical centers, because it does look strange, doesn't it? Because we used to we recently went to New York, and it's every other van is a delivery van and all that sort of stuff. And I do understand somebody sat at the other side of the world, or even just in another country, that see these little places and can't imagine sort of normal life being here, and can't imagine DHL or Amazon or whoever delivering to these little places. And I don't know if it's just because everything looks so antique and outdated, or is it because people think that we're genuinely hours and hours and hours away from civilization? That I'm not quite sure how to tackle that, really, how to sort of try and get it across to people that it's not like that.
Yeah, it's so much more efficient. And I'll admit, coming here, Palumbaro is a small town on top of a hill. I thought, oh gosh, Amazon's going to come once a month, and they, a lot of the things you order are next day delivery, incredibly efficient. And stores like IKEA, they call it IKEA here, IKEA, deliver as well, and they're incredibly efficient. So you can have, go down there and purchase things, they'll come bring furniture next day or 2 days sometimes, and it's incredibly efficient. It's remarkable. The other thing that really surprised me, I was a little concerned coming out here, was what about internet service? And wow, the internet service that I have here at this house is faster than what I had available in the United States, and it's way less expensive than it is in the United States.
Do you mind sharing what you're paying to people for people?
I think we're at about €35 a month.
Okay.
For internet speeds faster than what I was paying for in the United States, that was running more than $100 a month.
Well, we're currently paying, I think it's 28 or 29 a month, something like that. I've just done a speed test now. I was going to do this live, but I thought I better not, just in case it was on an off day, which it never is. But I've just done a speed test now, and we've got 372 download and 251 upload. Which is, I was, even when I lived in the UK, we got absolutely nowhere near that. It is incredible, and as you say, the price is really good as well. So putting all of this to, trying to say to people, look, we're not in the middle of nowhere. We have the services and everything else. What would you say the best? Obviously the best things living here is not going to IKEA or not going onto Amazon and watching the delivery driver come so you can talk to people about it on this show. Above and beyond all that, what would you say is the best thing about being in these areas?
It's a different lifestyle, and it, you hear that, the sweet life and the slower life and so forth, but it really is, I would say for me, the quality of the food that's available. Restaurants obviously are fantastic, but what's available in the markets, the freshness of the produce, and the fact that they don't use all the chemicals and fertilizers. They don't even use the word organic here, because pretty much everything is organic.
Yeah.
And so the quality of the food, you can tell it in eating food here and how much better you feel than some of the things that you might come across in the United States. The availability of fresh produce and meats and cheeses, how close everything is and how absolutely easy it is to get things. Plus that slower lifestyle, especially in a town like Palumbaro, they really do shut the town down from 1 to 4 every afternoon.
Yeah.
It's ghost town because everybody's home enjoying lunch, taking a nap, enjoying, relaxed time. And then everybody comes out a little bit later in the night. So once you get used to it, you really start just saying, this is the sweet life.
You do have to get into a rhythm, don't you? Because I think when we first moved here, I always remember when we used to visit my wife's nonna. She lived the other side of the mountains in Lazio, and going on holidays when we were younger and the rest of it, we would stay in bed. Obviously, you were tired, you're on holiday. So if we got up at 11 o'clock, this is sort of when we're in our early 20s, and a nonna would say, what's the point of getting, where do you want to go now? Because we'd be ready to go somewhere. And she would be like, you can't go anywhere at this time. We're getting ready for. So you could find yourself sort of. I've known people come here, they've missed lunch because they don't get the hours. Maybe they thought they would eat at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, even 2:30 in the afternoon, nothing's open. Then they think, okay, well, let's go to the restaurant in the evening time. And they turn up at 7 and the restaurants are shut. And I've known people be here for a couple of days and send me a message saying, how do I eat here? Because it's so different. Again, if you miss that rhythm, then you miss so much, don't you? It's just you can think that it is nobody's here, nobody lives here, nobody does it, if you're just out of time with the pace of Italy.
It is. I will say that it did take a little while to adjust to that because I tend to sleep later. And if you're going to wake up at 11 and get rolling at 12, you're going to find everything's closing down. So you do get used to getting things done either in the morning, but then, shops reopen at 4 o'clock and often stay open until 7 or 8. And we're used in the United States, we're used to things closing by 4 or 5 o'clock. So
yes,
you learn that. The restaurants at night, tonight we have an appointment here at the home restaurant with Tony, and it's at 8:30. That's later than I normally would eat for dinner. But again, you just adjust to it, and it's once you allow yourself, rhythm's a great word. Once you allow yourself to get into the rhythm and the flow of the sweet life here, it's as good as it gets.
Yeah, I agree. Right, I want to bring Mark and Naida on now because they're going to. Do you mind hanging on a bit, Patrick, as well? We'll have a. Let's get Mark and Naida on. Hello,
Patrick. Good to see you again, man.
Good to see you too. Buonasera.
So, Mark and Naida, if we can just, Tony, can you just take the ticker off along the bottom just so people can see their names? Thank you very much. So, guys, we're going to slightly, Domenico's probably going to interrupt this, but then we'll come back to you after as well. Slightly different things. I wanted to just get an update from you more than anything, because I want to do a Meet the Home Buyers soon. So I also want to ask you about your experiences here in Abruzzo. But for now, if you can just tell people, obviously you've been on one of these shows before. You bought a property in beautiful Capistrano, which I'm going to show people a glimpse of the video of it. What stage are you at the moment? If you just let everybody know where you are and what's happening in your life.
Well, we're actually in Albania, Tirana, Albania right now. We are doing the Schengen Shuffle, as you mentioned. We won't be able to apply for our visa until the fall when we get there in the end of August. So we're taking the time to study Italian. So we study Italian full time while here. We're not on vacation or anything like that. So that's what we've been doing.
And we've been enjoying it.
Yeah. So you're in the middle of the Schengen Shuffle. How is it all? I'm just going to show a little bit of your house. Hopefully it's not going to jump to an advert, just so people get a taste of this is your place in beautiful Capistrano. Yes. How are things working out for you doing the Schengen Shuffle and all that kind of thing? Obviously you didn't apply for your visa in the US. What's just fill everybody in with what you did and the way you're doing it.
Well, we actually sold everything. Naida retired, and we came over here for the tour. We chose to take the tour, even though we knew we were going to buy this home in Capistrano. And we're really glad we took the tour, because we met a lot of people. We're still friends with many of them. And we were able to see a lot of towns. Plus, the very last home you showed us was what Naida and I had decided was our second choice. And so when we saw that home, it was still so obviously our second choice. That was very encouraging. And then we came on over here. We spent 69 days in Italy, which was a mistake. We shouldn't have done it that way. But we spent 69 days in Italy, including our Christmas vacation, which was actually what got us started thinking about this. And then we ended up making the choice to move here. So we then came over to Albania for a couple of months, went back to Capistrano for 2 weeks, and now we're here. And we're just looking at the calendar, only 3.5 more weeks, and we just go back to Capistrano, and we're there for an entire month.
Okay.
And then we will go home to the USA. Actually, I said home to the USA. Freudian slip. Capistrano is our home. But we're going to go back to the United States, visit with people for about 30 days, and then come back to Capistrano for 2 months. So we get to enjoy the summer in Capistrano. And if you play your cards right, David, you can come on out and enjoy our pool while we're here.
That's very kind of you.
I'm not sure about you, but we'll do the best we can here.
Does that extend to me too?
Absolutely. Absolutely. And actually, let me tell you, we tell everybody, everyone downsizes when they retire. We didn't. We upsized. We went from a 1.5 bedroom condo in Atlanta, Georgia, to now a home in Capistrano that has 4 bathrooms.
Only has 1 bedroom, but there's 4 bathrooms. I'm only joking. So you heard that, everybody on YouTube. We're all invited to Mark and Naida's.
Absolutely.
So just to go back to something that you just said, where you said you made a mistake by spending too much time in Italy. If you can just sort of for what reason? Why would you say that?
Because doing the Schengen shuffle, we're only allowed 90 days out of 180. And I wish we would have split it up a little bit, because going back to Capistrano a month ago for only 2 weeks was brutal. We got there and we knew we had to leave in 2 weeks. So I can't tell you how excited we are about getting back home in 3.5 weeks and being able to stay there for a whole month.
So Naida, I just want to, I don't know if people can remember from YouTube, you just before you bought, and I think we spoke just after the tour, if I remember rightly. It was a huge change for you, wasn't it? It was and you were struggling at that time with the huge change. How are you feeling about things now, even though you're not settled yet because you're still not at your home in Capistrano, but how are you feeling about things?
I would say much better. And what makes it easier now is familiarity. We've met a lot of people, not only in Capistrano, but also Raiano, because we had to stay in Raiano for almost a month, I think, while we were waiting for the signing. And we met some other couples that bought through a home in Italy, and we got to spend time with them. And we're really good friends now with Pete in Capistrano, who bought the other property from you all. And he just happened to be there when we were there 2 weeks ago. So that was really great. And then we've met a lot of people in Capistrano that, even though they don't speak English, we are working really hard on our Italian. But it's been great to meet people, and then also just, we've been driving the route from Capistrano through Popoli to Sulmona, and we've learned like where the hardware store is, where the paint store, and the grocery store, and all of those things. And
the 24-hour grocery store. 24.
So we've been to those places several times. So we no longer have to use our ways to get to Sulmona. So the familiarity really helps a lot, I would
So
say.
all of a sudden it's feeling like, yeah, I mean, I can understand that. Again, it was all new. I mean, you pretty much bought the property remotely almost, because you got here just before the signing, but obviously you're thrown in at the deep end and moving here as well. So I can understand, but it's nice that you're meeting people here, which is always great. And you said something to me earlier, which I think is more important. Expats and being with other expats is fantastic, especially when you meet really nice people. But you told me something about, is it one of your neighbors or somebody that's and the way you were describing this Italian, where you described almost as a she's taking you on almost as a daughter, I think, is it?
Right.
Yeah.
And it was interesting because when we were waiting for the signing on our home, we rented a car for 3 days, and we went we drove to Capistrano, sat in the piazza every day, and Mark I started talking to Piero.
I started seeing this older, distinguished gentleman, and you could just tell by the way he dresses. He's got some money, but he's just distinguished. And so I started talking to him a couple of times, and then one day he came up to talk to us and introduce us to the owner of the Pacenti winery. And the next day we were there, he brought this woman over, his wife. And he introduced Anarita to us, and she just fell in love with Naida, and they have had us over at their home a couple of times. They have a huge grotto. They've got 7 or 8 of them in their home, in their property. They took us over there, and just we were there for dinner recently, and it's just it's a sense that you talk about all the time brilliantly, David, and we got the opportunity to experience this older couple kind of taking us under their wing. Naida said to her, I'll say it because it's easier to ask for forgiveness than it is for permission. But Naida said, but I don't know how to cook. How do I cook this stuff? And Anarita, without blinking an eye, said, come over, honey, I'll teach you.
That's great. And it's, I think it's experiences like that, and it's again, no disrespect to other expats and everything else. It's brilliant to get to speak to people in your own language as well. I think sometimes I miss that, and it's good when you have that catch up with other people. But the way people are here, I've always said, speaks volumes about the country, the way the people are, and I do think that will be. I don't know. I think that's is going to be a huge part of your future here.
And the cleanliness.
Yeah,
the cleanliness is huge. Now, obviously, I'm not talking a major city like Rome, but people don't throw things on the ground here.
Yeah,
it's clean.
Yeah.
Dave, I'm going to jump in real quick, Dave, and back what they're saying and you're saying. And the expat community here is extremely strong. There are expat events going on weekly and tons of opportunities to meet expats. But the Italians themselves, the experience that Mark and Nadia had, are exactly it. And same thing. I've gone down to the bar, met a few of the guys, and next thing you know, you're getting invited to somebody's house for dinner. Yeah. The Italians are actually fascinated by Americans. They want to hear your story. They want to know what America's like. They want to know what your life is like. They want to tell you about their life. It's so welcoming. And if you can even just say a few words in Italian,
exactly.
Your
We're backing down the drive area up to our place. We're backing down, and this guy was off to the side working on a piece of machinery. So I rolled down the window and I just said hello to him and introduced myself to him and told him where we live. He knows the home. And the next night, he shows up with homemade olive oil, homemade vinegar, and homemade wine. Just hello.
That's
and
brilliant.
he doesn't speak any English, and that's the thing in these small villages. Hardly anybody speaks any English whatsoever, but thank goodness for Google Translate.
But again, you manage though, don't you? And that's the thing.
Without a doubt.
I can see Domenico. Sorry, I'm part texting Domenico. Domenico, un attimo e poi 2 minuti. Va bene. Just one sec. Let's bring Domenico in a second. Buonasera.
Ciao, Domenico.
Domenico.
Come stai?
2 minuti e poi facciamo, va bene? Un attimo
Yes.
solo. Sorry, but yeah, I do think that the experience that we have with people, as you say, in their own language, in their own sort of villages, their own what can we say, their own community, but they welcome us in, and it's just things like that. I think is so important. It's so important to getting on here, and so important to the longevity side of it. In other words, the for you not to go in 3 or 4 years, because after a while, you know, you need more than just friends. You need people to make you feel like family, especially when you're a long way away.
And you don't need to be outgoing. I'm the outgoing one, okay? But Naida is quiet. Like, she never talks, but I'm seeing a different Naida because of the friendliness of everybody. And I don't really know. Maybe it's the water. I don't know. But she's open. She's
to be fair to Naida, it's pretty hard work trying to get a word in anyway. But
I don't know what you're talking about.
You know, I love you, really. No, I did say that earlier as well. You know, it's great to see a difference in people in general when their lives start to change, and you do see it in a huge way. I can see it, especially when I only see people every now and then. I met you before, and I'm sure if you come on in 6 months' time, it's going to be completely different again. The way your attitudes and the way of looking at life as well. I think changes in a huge way. What can we say? I mean, hopefully you're going to come back. We want to catch up with you once we start doing once you start getting on with your visa process, because that's going to be, did you say August time when you're going to start doing that?
End of August, yes.
Yeah. And then it's going to be full time. But we'll catch up with you again when you're over in Capistrano, because I do want to show people your house as well, and we can share a little bit of that. Yeah, what else can I say? Just stay safe, enjoy your time where you are now in Albania, but I know you can't wait to get back to Italy. I was going to say sunny Italy, but we've had some shocking weather recently, so it's not so sunny at the moment. But there you go, it's still beautiful. Okay, I can see Domenico walk. Are you going to hang around just for a few minutes, and I can see Domenico walking around now, and let me just catch him out while he's walking. Sei pronto?
Yes, mi sto accomodando.
Okay, so anybody that is wondering what's happening at this moment, let's bring Tony on as well. We may as well all get on here. Okay, what I'm going to do, guys, Patrick and Mark, I'm just going to hide you on the screen for. In fact, no, I won't. Let's leave it like this. Anybody that's watching now, this is the second part of Tony and what do we call this? Domenico and Tony's tongue twisting trials. We've already heard Tony's fantastic Italian. I'm now going to send Domenico his version in English. Questo è un po' lungo. Just tell him it is a little bit long. It's non troppo, però. So Tony's going to say it again in Italian.
Oh my God!
Hey, you want to sit down? Hey.
We're going to listen to him again. If we can take the comment off the bottom there,
so
get a full screen of us. Tony's going to say it again in Italian. I'm going to keep an eye out on the chat to see who's first. I don't think anybody's going to guess this tonight. Tony, you do your Italian first.
Right.
Go.
Tu darai alla gente un idili al quale dispararsi corriano con te. Vacilleranno, codranno, ma col tempo saranno accanto a te nelle luce. Col tempo li aiuterai a compiere meraviglie.
Domenico, andato bene, Tony?
Benissimo, perfetto. 10 e lode.
Sì. Allora, tu sai il film? Tu sai il nome del film? No. So Domenico said that Tony
No.
did extremely well, but he has no idea what the film is.
No.
So there you go. Ok, Domenico, sei pronto? Aspetta un attimo, aspetta. Okay. In English, in good English, and everybody get ready.
1, 4, 2, 1, Domi.
Vai.
You will give people and heedle to strive towards. They will race behind you. They will stumble. They will fall. But in time, they will join you. In time, you will help them accomplish wonders.
Bravo.
Hey, bravo, Domi.
I have no idea.
Better than my Italian.
No, none of you guys have no idea. I mean, you know, it's not easy. Let's see if anybody gets. Let's see.
Nobody
I think it's my week this week. It's got to be my week. Everything's gone quiet. People are on Google now.
I don't know what it is.
Nobody's getting it. I can't see any. Is anybody chatting? Nobody's doing anything. Absolutely no. I've got to put a time limit on this.
It does take a little while to come through.
I know, but I've got to put a time limit on it because.
Only because you want to.
Oh, here we go. Here we go. No clue. The Godfather. No. Bravo. Patton. No. Bravo. We're only getting bravos and no clues.
Field of Dreams.
Sorry.
Field of Dreams.
No.
No.
Have I won this week? I'm giving it 10 more seconds, and then it's 1 to me. 2. Anybody? No idea. No idea. Nobody's got any idea. So the winner this week. Sorry?
Superman.
Who said that?
The Adaeus Jude.
Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Somebody's put Life of Brian. Patrick, that's you, would you? I can't believe it. He's got it. He's definitely been searching that on Google.
And on Facebook, that was on YouTube, and on Facebook, it's Dave Stevens.
Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Well, that's it.
There you go.
So it's not mine. You've won again, fellas.
Then was it? Between me and Dominic, I got it.
Well, there you go. Grazie, Domenico.
Grazie. Ciao.
Ci sentiamo domani.
Yes, boss.
Ciao, Domenico.
Ciao, Dominic.
Tone, thanks again. Useless as usual.
Yeah, I don't care. Fine.
Okay, guys. So Patrick's dying to get off now. He's getting ready for his pizza. I know, and the home restaurant. Look at Tony. Tone, are you actually going for a pizza with Patrick dressed like that?
Yeah.
You're going like that?
I'm not getting dressed.
Hey, listen, David, that's the other thing. It doesn't matter how you're dressed. You can go anywhere dressed the way, however you want to.
Hey, they go to funerals dressed like this.
It is true. The problem is he's got shorts on. That's the problem.
Actually, I ain't got anything on. I'm going to get up.
And on that note,
get information, Tony.
Some things we didn't need to know.
Patrick, have fun.
Thank you. Hope to see you guys soon.
Patrick, thank you so much. Thanks so much for coming on. I will see you soon, and enjoy your pizza tonight.
Thank you.
Maybe not so much the company, but the pizza should be good.
Fair enough.
See you soon, friend.
Ciao.
Bye. Okay, guys. So, what's happening from now? So you've got 2 or 3 weeks, and then you're back here for a month, and then after that month, back to the States. Is it?
Correct. We'll be
and then 2 months
in Capistrano in 3.5 weeks, and then we will be there for an entire month. Then we'll go to the U.S. for 1 month, and then we'll be back in Capistrano for 2 months, leaving August 20th, which means we can have that pool party sometime in August or late July.
Sounds brilliant. Sounds brilliant. Okay, guys, thank you so much for giving up your time again. And I really look forward to speaking to you again. We'll do a full session with you guys, and we'll show off your house and everything. We'll probably wait while you come out for your 2-month stint, and should be nice, glorious weather. You can sit outside next to your pool and make us all feel jealous. Well, hopefully you sat in the sunshine. Okay, guys, look after yourselves. And we'll
Ci vediamo. Ciao.
Ci vediamo. We'll see you soon. Bye, Naida. Okay, everybody. So there you go. A bit of a mixed thing today. We started off on one and then moved on to a quick update with Mark and Naida. But I think it's great to see how people get on with life. I hope you think the same as well. Remember to join us on some of the tours. This year we do have spaces early May, as I mentioned earlier, on the 8th and 9th of May, I think it is, and then also the end of May. Then we start again in September, October, and November. It's a great way to see this amazing place and see a number of houses as well. Okay. Thank you so much. We'll see you again next week. I'm not sure what subject we're going to do next week. I'll think of something through the week and we'll do some adverts. And then it's nearly Easter. So we will have one session that we won't be here for, the one directly after Easter. But we'll make sure we cram in lots of good things before and after that. Thank you so much for your support. As usual, I really appreciate it. And we'll see you again at the same time next week.